let me tell you my story.
Yeah. What school did you go to?
Marvin.
Oh,
Marvin.
Yeah, we both graduated from Marvin. Elementary school was St. Peter. Kindergarten to 8th grade in Aurora.
what's Marvin like?
Before it was different because we come from a different environment.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very different, but in the long run, I liked it. Man. Yeah, I always thought that you had more freedom in Marvin to speak because it was nothing but guys.
Mm-hmm.
You could say whatever to the teachers would say jokes back to you, man, it was amazing.
Yeah.
You say some of that thing, any of those things in a public school,
Right.
you know, that was a big benefit.
Interesting.
And also, not having women, I know a lot of people are like, nah, dude, you gotta send your kid with girls and blah, blah, blah. But look how many kids get distracted.
It's a distraction.
How
Yeah.
much of a distraction. It was my vice growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And if that was my vice and I was only at Marmion, only imagine, I'm sure Ricky's got some of my vice in him through DNA. He has to have an attraction of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Marmion's changing, they're going co-ed now. And that sucks.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah.
Starts this year in fall.
Yeah.
What does that mean, that co-ed?
Boy and girl.
Really?
Yeah. So that's gonna be a big
Aren't they the only all boy high school in the?
Mhm.
Wow.
I'm gonna send my son to Rosary.
I think we kind of have the same opinion though. Homeschool.
Yeah. And more and more, I'm always just learning more and more about it because I'm trying to convince my wife to homeschool.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that people have the issue with is saying, well, you want to have your kids socialize and blah, blah, blah. You don't go to school to socialize.
No.
You go to school to socialize and be told to shut up. Okay? And if you talk too much, you got to go sit by yourself. So you're going to be humiliated by somebody that your parent might not even like.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not getting much of it. Okay, so why am I going to be putting my son through that? If I want him to socialize, what's the best way to socialize in a group? A sport. Because communication is important. Bond is important.
Right.
That's my partake, and that's why and I think you could teach your kids a lot, man. In today's day and age, how many people are learning to do jobs by YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay? And one thing I always had an opinion about is, let's just say you should start off teaching your kid multiplication. What's he gonna learn right off the bat? Multiplication. So what if you wait so many years to teach him multiplication? You could have taught him that at an earlier age. And that's something I really do believe in. The kids can grasp anything between the ages of 3 and 6. They're just sucking in everything. So why not just start them at a little bit higher pace?
No, you know.
And I'm not saying I'm gonna do that. That's just an example. That I think right now school is taking a lot of critical thinking out. And that's not right. Maturity takes forever for somebody to mature nowadays. Forever.
Mm-hmm.
It takes the longest time for them to start sacrificing. And without sacrifice, you guys know, you don't appreciate anything.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not know how to sacrifice things, if you don't know how to just suffer teensy wit, you're not going to enjoy a lot of life. And a lot of these kids are not getting the opportunity to suffer a little bit. Everything's being put too much in front of them. And as a great parent, my parents had good parents. They helped me out a lot. They always gave me what I wanted when I worked for it. But even then, I think they could have held me back a little bit more on certain things. Because it just happened maybe 2 years ago when I started settling down. I'm still a wildcat, don't get me wrong. But compared to how I used to be, my priorities are much, much elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
What's one thing, just looking at it from your dad's perspective, one thing that your dad told you guys that you guys want to tell? Just one thing, number one thing that you're going to pass along to Noah, to Ricky, to...
Just one story, and this is the lesson. I had to have been between the ages of 8 and 10 because I was very young. We were eating dinner and there was a old beer in the kitchen table. It was there for like 2 days. And he goes, hey, take a chunk of that and I'll give you $5. I look at him, $5? And he thinks I won't do it. I chugged it, put it down, and he's eating. And he goes, okay. He goes, just so you know, look how weak your mind is. He goes, I was sitting there and I was sitting there for 2 days. It's poisoned by now. It's bad. And for $5 that you don't even know where you're gonna get, you drink that. So just take into consideration how weak your mind is. Ever since that day, bro, I'm not anybody to let anybody influence me to do anything. I don't care what it is, bro. If I want to do it, trust me. If it's stupid and they're like, come on, do it, I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll do it. But if not, dude, you're no way you're gonna convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
You know, there's just no way.
That's a good lesson. Yeah.
And that lesson is I'm gonna try to, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna try to teach it to him. You know? As long as you stick to your own head, to your own world, you'll be okay.
Yeah. It's important. You say you learned a similar thing or something like that?
So I feel like it was kind of the same, but it was different, I guess. I'm basically just controlling my emotions. You know, he was. I just had a story.
Damn it, Ricky.
That's basically the gist of it. It's just
Still the moment.
you know, controlling your emotions is gonna get you far in life. You know, he's always told me that that my way of thinking, because he said it's always been different than my sisters and my brothers. He said because of the way I think, I'd be someone good in authority, someone, a teacher or like a police officer or something like that. Just because he said I have a way of speaking. He said and the way you think about the world is good and it's solid. He said, but you need to be able to control your emotions. It's like if you don't control your emotions, everything you have, it doesn't really matter. So you just keep your emotions in check.
Do you feel like you have a purpose now? Do you know what that purpose would be?
Definitely just my daughter, maintaining her life. Like I always tell myself that like I want, and hopefully I do have it because I'm gonna be working hard, right? But like I want my land, I want my house. Like I want to build my house out of like shipping containers.
Okay,
It's cheaper and they do look nice.
That's awesome, man.
I want to do that, and I want to have my cars and my land and stuff. But like I keep telling myself that money is really nothing to me. Like as long as my daughter has food, clothes, and like a house, I could be wearing the same clothes like every single day, and I wouldn't care. I don't have to eat like 3 meals a day.
Mhm.
You know, so just maintaining her happiness, maintaining that she's healthy. I think
Yeah.
that's my main
Being a
priority.
leader for her.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Was your high school experience the same?
No.
No.
Adrian, he hung out with a lot of, he was popular.
Yeah.
Me, I was not, bro.
No?
No. I was not. I got Mr. Marmion. I got Mr. Marmion 1 year. I was gonna get it another year, but they were like, no, you can't get it twice.
That's the one thing I never got.
What's Mr. Martin?
It's like when you won the talent show, right?
Yeah, like the school.
You know, wasn't Mr. Hanson?
Oh, yeah.
Seriously.
So what'd you do that got you to win it?
Oh, dance, bro.
Yeah.
Dancing
Come on.
at that time, I could flip Daisy like nothing.
Yeah.
But no, and plus school to me, I always did bad, bro. Always did bad in school. I only passed because I was really cool with the teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really cool. I got along with them. I was a little more mature than everybody my age,
Yeah.
and that helped a lot.
And I think
Chicago is it's probably the best city in the U.S., bro. And I only say that because I've been to a couple, and people who have lived in a couple other ones tell me New York ain't nothing like Chicago. They told me Cali ain't got nothing like Chicago. Texas don't got, they just say Chicago has it all. Everything. You want beach, you want have whatever, Chicago has. Now, when I'm always, for several years now, my jobs have always been to go to houses. Every day something different. And now, I go do deliveries in the ghetto, bro, and you have your government, you're getting in trouble for not paying your taxes when the ghetto people are living in burnt down houses, bro, or they're living in where are you saying that my taxes are going, or what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
You know, your whole life, you're grown to understand the U.S. as being the strongest, best #1, but look what it's housing.
Yeah.
What are you housing? And it's not a small population,
Right.
because the hood is big.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, small population is the subdivisions that hold maybe 20 houses and they all have to half an acre of land. Those are small populations, brother. Go to the hood, that's mostly all of our upper Illinois. And that's what that's why we pay so much for, and that's where it's going. That's what, when I started working, I started realizing, holy shit. I'm sorry. I'm like, holy
No,
cow.
you're good.
What?
You can cuss. You're
Okay.
good. Yeah.
I'm like, damn, this is insane. This is crazy how you can just let somebody live like that.
Right.
Being at a high, I don't get that, girl.
Yeah.
I don't get it. You know, it's like, imagine you have pets and you just, all your dogs just sleep outside and they don't have, they dug up they don't got grass, they just got dirt. How do you want them? And you're like, hey, no, sit. No, hey, shut up, don't. How the fuck you want them to do all that when you're not giving any attention, you're not investing anything into them?
Right.
And that's how right now we get so much complaining about this and that and writing and blah blah blah. But look where they're coming from, bro. And trust me, I'm nobody. I'm nothing like, you know, I'm not gonna pay for somebody else's food either. Don't get me wrong. But look at where they're going, bro. You know, it's not like we're a broke country, bro.
No.
It's not like we don't have something to be able to help out. Damn, dude. Because I get it. Like I said, I don't want to pay for any of them. I have my kids in my house to work for. But as a leader, what do? You take care of everybody. You take care of your household or your country. So I think that's a big thing too, bro. It's just one big circle, because the complaint comes from one point, but at the opposite end where it's coming from, it's not getting any better.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's what I did get to notice.
Mm-hmm.
How the big portion of where we are is. And I'm sure that's a big portion of America.
Oh, yeah.
If you didn't have to worry about making money, you didn't have to worry about, you know, buying groceries, all that good stuff. You didn't have your kids to support and all that. Perfect day. What does it look like? What are you doing? From the time you wake up, how are you spending your day?
Mm-hmm. And this is from maybe what I would have liked it to be, or from what I've done now, my perfect day, to what I know.
No, literally, money's not an issue. There's nothing. Your kids are fed. You don't have to worry about working another day of your life. Like, everything is set.
Dude,
What is a perfect day for you?
I'm fucking going to Ranger school, bro, Navy SEAL training, something, and going to put in work.
Okay.
That's my thing.
See, I figured, you guys have already kind of answered it. You'd be pursuing that, the trafficking and just
All that, brother.
becoming a badass.
All that, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me, we start with some good old love making in the morning. After that, go to shower, probably work out, eat some food. And then I don't know. I think I like to drive. You know, I like to drive. So I'll probably go on a drive. Come back, watch a movie, some food. I don't know. That
Something
just
relaxing.
they make more love. You know. Just, yeah, you know.
That sounds dope.
I think that'd be my perfect day. You know, just
Yeah.
relaxing.
I feel like there's so many people in Aurora that just feel like have a mindset like us. Either it's entrepreneurship, either if it's like wanting to be someone, they're going through a rough time, and they don't have anyone to go to. They have literally nowhere to go to besides because they don't want to talk to their parents because they don't feel comfortable
Mhm.
talking to their parents, or they don't feel comfortable talking to someone in their family or in their main friend group. So like if they could have that connection to be able to be like, all right, I want to talk non-biased opinions. This is what's happening. This is either what I want to do or either what I'm looking to go into. That's always why we came together, for at least this side.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys in general they don't want to say anything because they feel like people are going to be like, you know, we all have fucking problems, who cares?
Yeah.
You know, get over it, like figure it out.
Yeah.
It was a year and a half ago, maybe 2 Januaries ago. I was at a low point, and luckily we had already been in business, so I had these 2 guys, but
Man.
boys. And, the thing that finally got me, like, I don't know if it was depression or I was just didn't know what to do with my life, but it was just sitting around a campfire with these guys, kind of doing the same thing, just talking, asking me questions about purpose and what I think I should be doing. Since that day, I think I've been on the come up, and like I felt better about myself, good gym routine, I'm happy, feel like I have purpose now. So same thing, it's just helping people, and I think just having a place to talk, shoot the shit with other people is our goal.
You know, that's a big thing about life that I think is regardless of where you come from, what you believe in, if you don't serve at some point in one way or another, bro, what are you doing living? You know?
Yeah.
Our point is to serve, or is to help out, you know? That's why my dad also told me when he noticed that I wasn't pressing well, he said, hey, if they're your friends, there's always a thin line, right? Between friendship and business. It's like, if you want to be a good friend, then give them a good price. You don't do shit for free.
Yeah.
So that's like, wow, man, you're right. You know, you can't do shit for free, but you can always help out in the business aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's serving, that's just as good as serving, because maybe they weren't going to have anybody to do it.
I'm a young dad, and I feel like there's a lot of young dads out there, and I know that there's a mom group for moms or single moms and stuff like that they go and they'll give them free gifts and diapers and wipes, and they'll have food there, and they'll just talk about stuff that they can do or things that they can help with, and then they'll pay for field trips to like the zoo and to the aquarium and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, why don't I was like, why don't I can try to start one for a guy for.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
That's what I've been trying to do, or think about starting to do. Just trying to find young dads in the area that need to get stuff off their chest and maybe need help figuring out situations on how to handle a relationship or balance the relationship with their personal family, the girl's family, with her, with a partner, with a baby, with everything in general. Just like get different points of view and get see other solutions to those problems.
Focus on that.
I like your idea though for the dads.
Yeah.
Because you get a lot of the women support groups and shelters and stuff like that. And I can't think of a single dad one.
Yeah. So that's something that I've been thinking about trying to start.
Should do it.
Yeah.
Let us know if you need help, because like we know people and spaces and yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll hold you to it though. So we'll hold you to it though.
Yeah.
It's so easy to say it, like it's what you want to
Exactly.
do or trying to do. It's uncomfortable at times, and like we make them up as a pain in the asses, but I think that's what most men need, like somebody to just actually push them. Like we've all been babied enough, and like sometimes you just need that little kick in the ass.
Yeah.
It's like go out and get it done.
Shit, bro.
Yeah, it's good to get your heart torn, bro. That's what I learned. Everybody, you need your heart broken. That's a good thing about leaving, going south or going overseas. You know, you have to get your heart broken to be able to see the reality and enjoy life. Because then you don't appreciate anything. You know, like one time this priest told us that your heart has to be like a boxer's hand. You just keep on breaking it and breaking it and breaking it in order for it to be stronger and stronger and stronger. And harder and harder. So the boxer's hand is huge. That's how you want your heart. So you break it in a good way. Seeing those things are good, man.
Yeah, there's an episode of South Park where it's like you have to enjoy you have to embrace the bad days in order to appreciate the good days. You know? It's just like you believe in God, you believe in the devil. There's good, there's bad. There has to be a balance. So there's happiness in the world, there has to be heartbreak.